Sorry, the helmet's dirty. It's got all kind of salt grime on it, and I haven't cleaned it yet. But I had 2 dreams about a motorcycle. Well, I had 3, but I can't remember the first one. The 3 nights in a row. And the first one, I can't remember. And then the second night, it was a dream that I parked my bike in the end of the parking lot at work overnight, and some guy with the trailer had actually backed into it and knocked it over or something. And he actually bumped into someone else's car, and he knocked a light pole over. He had this big black trailer and this big black truck, and he totally tried to get away with it, for real, you know? And we pulled him. I caught him as he was starting to try to drive away, and we pulled him into the store to interrogate him, and he denied the whole thing. And refused to pay, and he was hiding his license plate, so I couldn't even see who he was. I couldn't even get the plates on the car. And he was driving this different truck when he was leaving. I don't know what happened to the one that he used to knock everything over. He didn't mean to do that. It was an accident, but he wouldn't own up to it. I know, I had to turn like a squid because it's really slippery. Anyway, and so that was that story, and that was pretty much that dream, was me trying to get in to pay for it and realizing, it just means his insurance covers it instead of mine. But either way, it's covered. It's not really a big deal. The bike was totaled. And I was mad about that because I'm attached to Shamu, but I realized, well, my comprehensive insurance is a $25 deductible. So, it's not that big of a deal if he drives away. It was just the principle of the thing. And so that was the first dream. And then the second dream, I was back in Kansas City, but I was taking this really amazing twisty road along this river, and I was going a little hot. Not a lot, maybe 10 over, 15 over. It's really not, by Chicago standards, that's not speeding. But anyway, in the dream, the cops were after me then, and I was running from the cops, and that was awesome. But they got helicopters and everything, and they could never get a good read on my plates, and so they weren't quite sure who I was or if I was even an okay person, and if all I was doing was speeding, why was I running? So anyway, so they had an APB out on me, and everybody it was out to get me, and my dad came with his Ford Taurus show, and he followed me down to the river. There was this little gravel road that led down to the river, and when we took that, we found this cave that it was maybe 30 feet deep. Back, straight back, and then was a dead end. And there was 6 inches of water in there. And he's like, why don't we back your bike up in here, and we'll just leave it here, and then they won't see it, and you can ride with me home in the car, and then your bike will be here waiting for you after this all blows over. So we start to drive away, and then I'm like, wait. Did you lock the forks? Because my dad's the one who backed it up for me. Yeah. Anyway, so my dad backs the bike up, and he's like, oh, no, I didn't. I was like, well, then, Dad, anybody could come and just wheel my bike away. We at least need to lock the forks. So he's like, well, okay. So we go back and do that, and then we're leaving, and I'm like, wait, I forgot something else. Why don't we cover it in mud or something? I know we pushed it back in the cave a little ways, but it's a bright green bike, and they're looking for me. They have guys going along the river and rafts. All the police were out. So that was that dream, and my dad's like, no, we don't need to cover it in mud. And I was like, are you sure? I'm like, because a bright green bike really stands out. And he's like, no, it'll be fine. And he's trying to convince me. And so he was going to take me. We were looking for a road that went across the bridge. And it was so crazy seeing cops like all around us, but because he didn't know I was in his car, they would drive right past us and stuff. It was kind of cool. There were helicopters and everything. So anyway, and he's like, well, we're going to find a road that crosses, and then from there I'll show you. We'll drive along the road on the other side of the river, and you can look and you'll see. You won't be able to see your bike. And the whole time we're going up and down this road, I'm like, Dad, we're wasting time because they're going to come for me. Like, by the time I know you can see it, because we didn't push it back that far, and it's daylight. And they're looking, they're going along the river and they're looking. And by the time we get there, it's going to be too late. By the time you realize, oh crap, you can see it, it's going to be like too late. And so that was my dream. And I woke up shortly thereafter though, because then the cat's name is Fuzzy, but I think we'll turn here. I was going to go up to 14 and over, but that just means more lights. It's a little more fun because I could pass all these people. People wasn't the word I almost said. Oh, nothing like white girl ghetto talk. It's why I keep it to myself.